Hey there, my name is Oliver Shoulder, and I am the founder and principal consultant at Everpeak Partners. So, I've gotten a lot of questions from friends, family members, and prospects about what exactly I do and what Salesforce is. So, my firm is a Salesforce consulting partner, and I help businesses either implement the system for the first time or to optimize and improve it, add additional third-party integrations, and all sorts of different uh, customizations to the system to help streamline it for business process. But you might be wondering, what exactly is Salesforce? It is a cloud-based CRM system, and I'll come over here and we'll land on our homepage. So anyway, you might be wondering what a CRM system is, and it stands for Customer Relationship Management System. And what that is a system that businesses use to organize their leads, their contacts, their sales opportunities, uh, and then once they sell their product or service, also to support it, manage things like if there's any issues, tracking all of those and routing them to the right people. In addition, you can build all sorts of custom applications on the system and integrate it with just about any third-party software. The nice thing about Salesforce is that they are the largest CRM system out there. They're about $70 billion in market capitalization, and there's all different ways you can rank a company's size, but they are a very significant company. A lot of people use them because it's a really great system. And actually, I used to work with a couple different CRMs, and at the first consulting firm I worked with a few years back, and we ended up just going with Salesforce because it was by far the best, and I still hold that belief, and that's why I continue to work with their software. So anyway, I'll just jump right in. So this is the home page. We can see, quarterly performance. Here's our closed deals. This is all just a demo instance with some mock-up data. So you can see in here we've got $105,000 closed. Our goal is 120,000. We can see some recently viewed records. We can see our top deals in the pipeline. And then from here, what we can do is we can go into our leads object. And objects are basically databases. This whole system is a big relational cloud-based database where you have relationships between this data. So for example, you might have a contact. Here's our contacts tab. And those contacts might work for a company, and you could have multiple contacts in a company. So everything is related in this system. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my recently viewed leads here, and I'll just open up a lead here. For example, this is Carolyn Crenshaw. And we can see some of the activity that we've logged. So here we've logged a call, follow-up regarding new generator. Then we were working on setting up an on-site meeting, and Carolyn was going to be at a trade show that that I'm going to, and so I just made a note that we're going to grab coffee at the trade show, and you can even click in here and you can get all of the details. Here was one I just kind of made up a little something. Is looking to buy a new generator in October, budget of $80,000, and just a little side note, her daughter was just accepted to Princeton, so maybe mention something about that. So any notes that you have from a sales call, you can put into the tasks, and that just helps you keep track of all of the different activities that you've had with this lead. Keeps all the data in one place. You can also, it's a social system, so there's all sorts of different users. Some businesses, they only have one, maybe two users, but most have many users, and you can even at mention someone, I'll mention my colleague Mark, and I'll say, hey, this looks like a great lead. Any ideas on generators to sell? Who knows? You could ask for their opinion on something. You could bounce ideas. You could even do a poll and tag several different people or even a group. And then here, this is just all of the information. We can create any custom fields we want pretty easily in the system. And these are just some of our out-of-the-box fields. So name, company title, lead source. This is a great thing to track if you're a business, where your new leads are coming from: internet, referral, purchased list. I don't recommend purchasing lists, by the way. Phone inquiry. What's this business's annual revenue? Phone number, etc., etc. All sorts of different data points. You can see here. We've even got a rating, hot, warm, cold. So a great way to just kind of track all of your information in one spot. Back here, we have lots of leads in our system, and so we want to be able to sort through them easy, and we can use something called a list view. So this is all of our leads in the system. We can see it's kind of like an Excel table where we can sort through different stats, different fields here. And we can even apply filters. So here's a list view with only our Oregon leads, and the filters are really easy to edit. We can just go in here. We can see state equals Oregon. We could even throw another one in here. Annual revenue is greater than $1 million, or whatever you might want to do. So it's really an easy system to get exactly the data that you're looking for. And especially when you have a large volume of leads, that becomes especially important to keep things organized. And I'll just walk through the basic sales process here. So this is something really important for businesses to decide on. And as a consultant who helps companies implement Salesforce, while a good chunk of the work is the actual design of the system, a lot of that work is actually sort of revamping or creating for the first time new sales processes. And it's like, all right, a new lead comes in from our web form. How do we route that? And in Salesforce, you could automatically route that lead to the right salesperson based off of their interest or their location or any other field. It would notify that user. And again, actually, it's not on here, but there it is. The lead owner is the person who's responsible. So it could be routed. And we'd start here with open, not contacted, working, contacted, and then either closed, not converted, or converted. This means that they weren't qualified. This right here, if they're converted, that means that they're qualified. So that means that they're not only a legitimate lead, but that they're also interested in moving forward. And with our example, it's a business that sells generators. So they're, maybe they have some factories that need new generators or whatever it is, but they're a legitimate business and they show legitimate interest in our product. So at this point, we can convert the lead and then we'll create an account for it. So this one is Ace Iron and Steel Inc. So I'll just call it that. We'll create this new account, and it actually will take us to the account page. The account is all of the information about the actual business, and the contact that we're also going to create is information about the individual who we work with. So lots of different fields here. Here's a type: prospect, customer, partner, etc. Is it private, public, subsidiary? So lots of different data points. I'll just throw a couple things in here. They're a prospect. They're really easy to fill out. We'll save that. And then in addition to the contact and the account, we'll want to create an opportunity. And I'll just call this Ace Iron and Steel Generator Opportunity. We'll say they're buying a 8-foot generator. I'm just making that up, but you would want to specify what type of product they're interested in purchasing or service that they're interested in receiving. So now we'll convert that, and now we've got a contact, we've got an account, and we've got an opportunity. And all of these are linked into our account. So here's our related page with our contact and our opportunity. These are all the details. We can easily log a task. So if you need to do something like follow up with somebody, you can throw a due date in there or send a proposal, whatever it might be. Let's just say send proposal. Save that. And then you can see you've got past activity right here and next steps. So it's really easy in sales. I've learned you're always trying to move on in the sales process, find the next step, and make sure that that's been clearly identified. So they keep it very simple and straightforward for you here. Who it's related to. You can also log calls that you've had, track events that you've attended. Maybe they've attended an event with you or you had a meeting. And it also integrates with email so that you can send and receive emails and track all of that in your activities. So integration with things like Gmail and Outlook and other email providers. So going back here, now we've got a contact. This looks fairly similar to the lead, but it's in a different bucket. We call these objects, and they're basically like their own databases. So there's a leads database, here's our contacts database, and we can see this one looks a little bit different. Now back to our account. We're going to pull up the opportunity here, and then we have some more stages, and we have our opportunity information. And you can think of opportunity as the sales opportunity. So it's all of the info about that actual sale. And so we can edit this guy here. We've got a close date when we expect this deal to actually close, which means they sign the contract. What type is this? Is this an upgrade, replacement, downgrade, new customer, current generators, tracking number, all of these, whatever organization you work with. If you're getting Salesforce, we can create custom fields that meet your own unique needs. So these are all specific to the business needs. Anyway, we'll throw an amount in here. We'll just say 50,000 and save that. Or sorry, 500,000. And then we work our way through our stages. So we've got prospecting, needs analysis, value proposition, proposal, negotiation / review, and then closed, and either you win or you lose at that point, and you'll get to choose that when you select it. And I actually want to show you guys a little bit of the automation capabilities in here. So I'm just going to pull up my sample email address in here, and I'm going to walk through just some of the automation so you can see how this system can automatically trigger things. And in this case, we're going to automatically trigger an email to go out. So what we do is I put a rule in the system where any opportunity with I believe it's a closing or a amount over $100,000 that gets into the proposal stage will trigger an email. And a sample of this use case could be, letting a manager know or somebody know when a large deal is going to close. That's one of a million different use cases for this automation where you trigger out emails based off of a certain field updating to a certain value. So we're going to mark this as proposal. We're going to set that as the current stage, and let's see if it sends me an email. And just like that, you can see that just sent me this email. And you can see 0 minutes ago. It's basically instant. And it actually pulls in some of our data from the system. So it says large opportunity, Ace iron and steel 8-foot generator. So it automatically merged in the data from the name, and it says Oliver, the opportunity, Ace iron and steel 8-foot generator for $500,000 has moved to the proposal stage. And you can write a whole big email, and you can put in as many fields that are actually merging your Salesforce data into the email template. And that can go out to both internal users as well as external users. So lots and lots of potential for automation. It's saved people a ton of time. I know folks who actually had a client a while back, and he told me that he was able to leave work a couple hours early because the system actually just did his work for him. It automatically triggered out the emails he used to send by hand. And we can also automatically trigger fields to update and tasks to be created, and actually a handful of other things to happen automatically by just building it in the back end of the system. And that's what I specialize in. So anyway, that's just a quick overview of some of the main objects. We can build our own custom objects to track any data that we want. So that could be anything from, human resource applicants to contracts to, company visits, whatever you might want to track. Expense reports, that's one I've done a lot. We can basically just custom build this stuff from the ground up. And the nice thing about it is we don't have to start from scratch by writing it with code. A lot of it is point and click configuration in the system. So you could actually be surprised how quick something that seems complex can be done. And so from here, I'm going to jump into reports. And so we have this big system with tons and tons of data. We look, here's all of our opportunities. I work with clients that have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of records. And so understanding and analyzing this data becomes really important. And Salesforce has a great system for reporting on that data and then creating some analytics and visual representation of that data. So here's some reports that I created. Here's one. These are all of our leads, and I grouped it by our lead source. And you can mix and match and filter and spin this data in whatever way you want to see it. And the reports are actually showing you the data in the system. And I've got this one for leads by lead status, and I've got another one, leads by lead source. So we can see 7 leads came from the internet, 4 from the phone, 4 from partners, 7 from purchased lists, for a total of 22. And now if we want to sort of analyze this data, we can go into our dashboards and we can see this data being visually represented. So here's a nice little donut graph of our leads by lead source. We've got a little legend here, and you can also hover over it. It's pretty interactive. And then here's a leads by lead source, a nice classic bar graph that we have, and you can really easily edit these. So if we wanted to make this also a bar graph, we could just do that. You can quickly switch between all sorts of different types of graphs. You can even drag and drop. It's all very intuitive. The whole system is pretty intuitive to learn. So anyway, that's just a quick overview. There's so many more things in the system that I don't have time to go through because I want to keep this brief. Um, but if you have any questions, you can email me directly at oliver.shoulder, SHOLDER, at everpeakpartners.com. Everpeak is one word, EVERPEAK. Also, you can visit our website, everpeakpartners.com. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. The goal was just to give you a basic understanding of Salesforce and its features. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for your time.